Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Grow with Dezi. I am Desiree Foster Collins. I am a leadership development coach and trainer. I am a tech geek, and I am super excited to be here with you tonight. I hope that you had a great day today. Um, so let me just go ahead and give Facebook a little bit of time to let people know that I am live. And in the meantime, if you are joining me for the first time, welcome. Please say hello in the comments. Let me know that you are here. Would love to greet you and call you by name. We're friends. So my friends call me Dezi. So I just welcome you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let me just make sure that I can see people here. It is a beautiful Wednesday. How was your day today? All right, let me see that I can see everybody. So if you are here, please say hello. Please say hello. Would love to greet you by name. So tonight I'm going to be talking about common pitfalls. Common pitfalls. Before I get into that, I'm just going to put this out there from the jump street. Starting next week on Monday, I am opening up a 5-day challenge, and it's called Beat the Busy Challenge. And the Beat the Busy Challenge is for women entrepreneurs who want to know how to put the systems in place in order to get their clients from A to Z. So we're going to be talking about several different things. And if technology gives you the blues, this is a challenge that you want to jump into. Hello, Charisse. Hello, Ivy, Auntie Ivy. Thank you for joining me tonight. So a lot of you guys have been hearing about the digital transformation. You guys have been hearing me talk about it since I decided to start doing lives again, as well as, reskilling yourself, retooling yourself. And tonight, I'm going to be talking about the common pitfalls that a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs think when it comes to this whole digital thing. So if you are a student, I'm going to ask you to get a piece of paper and a pen, because I'm going to kind of give you an outline of all of the things that are included in a workflow just to get your client in the door to where they can have an amazing experience with you. So if you are doing anything on social media, if you have an email list, if you're referred by someone, someone refers a client to you, if you have a customer relationship manager, if you have a Facebook group, there are a lot of different ways that your clients can come to you and get into your flow. So I just named 5. First one, social media, email, a referral. Maybe you have a client relationship manager, a CRM, a Facebook group. Several different ways that you can get clients to input. From there, if you are a professional, most likely you have a website. So you get them to come check out your website because they want to know if you're for real or not, right? And then from there, they're going to go and check out and see what services you have. They see the services that you have, and then from there, how are you going to get them to give you their information so that they can actually get into your process? So most likely you're going to have like some sort of intake form, and then from your intake form there needs to be a response, and then from the response now you're going to have that phone call to find out, okay, what is it and how can you serve them? Now, up until this point, if you're anything like me, before I was able to get some of these systems in place, what were some of the things that you had to do in order to get your client to that point? Maybe, okay, well, just call me tomorrow. Like, what time do you have? 1 o'clock? Okay, cool. I'll call you at 1 o'clock. And then you're having a discussion. And then from there, maybe some email exchanges back and forth. Maybe some more phone calls back and forth. Like, what are some of the things that you would do once you had a referral to come into your business so that you can get them into your process. Up until this point, if you have inputs from social media, email list, CRM, Facebook group, they come to a hub, which is your website. They go through that process of, going and checking out your services, your intake, your response, your discovery call. And then from there, it's going to either be that the client decides that they're going to book with you or they're not going to book with you. And then whether they do or they don't, there's either going to be some sort of welcome email or there's going to be a follow-up. And then from there, after the follow-up or after the welcome email, there might be a way that you need to send out your contracts and your invoices. Then from there, you got to go through the planning. Now, this is if they do come into your services. And then once they go from planning, now you got another email that you send, and then they're in your process. Let's say they don't book with you. Let's say you have this discovery call, and then from there, they don't book with you, so you want to follow up with them. And then once you follow up with them, they don't book again, so you send them another email. And then if they don't book again, you've probably lost that person. You've lost that particular lead, that particular prospect, right? When it comes to digital transformation, there's a lot of misconceptions that I found that I had, as well as I'm finding that more and more and more entrepreneurs and small business owners have. The first thing is that thinking that everything out there is really expensive. That there are just it's for the experts and it's really expensive. But one of the things that I found as I've been along this journey is that there are some free to low cost options. Another problem that I found was that sometimes you'd find entrepreneurs that they think, okay, well, once I do this, it's a one and done. I set it and I can forget it. And to some degree, depending on what it is that you're doing, certain systems you can do that. But when technology changes, you got to be adaptable and you got to change with it. Sometimes what happens is that we'll invest in those, what I call shiny objects. I've spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on software that I thought I needed. Oh gosh, I can't even tell you how much money I've spent on there. Or I've bought software that didn't integrate with other things. So, or you buy software that doesn't work or you don't know how to work it. Then you've got wasted time spent on the phone after you thought that it was going to work for you, and you got wasted time on the phone with their customer service. You're just like, you know what, forget it. When I had a book and a pen, it worked just fine. It's not going to work that way this time. Because of the way that things are changing so quickly, having what you need in place is going to be super important. So another common pitfall is that trying to operate in like this vacuum, right? Or not starting at all. Operating in a vacuum. So if you have a business that you have maybe, 5 or 10 employees, and you've got to make some sort of shift from paper to digital, and you're making that change with your employees, having them understand it, having them getting them trained, making sure that whatever inputs for the tasks that they do are going to be incorporated into the system. I can remember we were instituting a huge scheduling system on a job that I was on, and the challenge was that we were so used to working in an Access database. If you guys have ever worked in any type of databases, Access is basically an Excel spreadsheet on steroids with a really, really pretty cover. And we'd been using that for years and years and years on end. I mean, running a multi-million dollar company. And we decided to make a transition to a product that we bought off the shelf. And so it had to be customized. It had to be It had to be tailored to the nuances of our industry. It had to be tailored to the nuances of how our people utilize the system. And I did this thing called a conference room pilot. And basically what a conference room pilot is that you bring in all of the stakeholders, so the people that make the decisions, the ones that have to buy in and say yes or no. And so we bring all these people in, and my responsibility was to have them test drive the system. So you get in there, you're test driving it, and basically, trying to run through different scenarios to see if it'll work. And we go through that whole process, we get the tool implemented, but there were always some people who either were afraid of change, they were resistant to change, that would not follow the steps that needed to be followed. And so there just became this tug of war between all these different groups or all these different people trying to do different things with the tools when they weren't able to provide like all the input that they needed. So one of the challenges that you'll have is that, if you do have people that work with you and they don't provide their input, or they're resistant to change, and you're bringing in something new, or maybe you're the person that's resistant to change. Maybe you're the one that's afraid of the technology. And so it's really important that you collaborate, right? You collaborate, you communicate, you find a resource that can help you and get you through the process and understanding, asking your questions, right? Answering your questions. Hey Lonnie, hey Shanella, thanks for joining. So common pitfalls, thinking that it's too expensive to get help. That's the first one. The second one is that not collaborating, not asking enough questions. The third one is going and like overestimating perhaps what you need when simple systems might be better for you when you're just starting. Let's see, what else do I want to share with you? There are, make sure that I got everything because I had some notes here. Your customer's experience. Another pitfall that we'll have is that, okay, so we go into business and we're like, okay, we want to go and we want to sell this. We want to, provide coaching. We want to provide training. And we want to make sure that our clients can come in and have a great experience. Another common pitfall is that we don't think about the client experience. Now, I mentioned earlier, there are several different ways that your clients can come into you. And typically they'll want to, they'll ask you, okay, well, do you have a website? If you don't have a website, that's a problem. That's an experience that they're having. If you don't have a means and a ways to communicate with them back and forth without you picking up a phone or having to jump behind your computer and send email after email after email, that will impact their experience. Many times we'll think about, when it comes to technology, and we'll think about the things that we need, but we forget that there's an experience that our clients will have, and that is just as important on them deciding on whether they're going to continue down the path of doing business with you. Our client experience needs to be as seamless and as simple as possible. I was reading an article today that shared that they had gone to, I forgot what company it was. They'd gone to a website to go and purchase something, and because when they got to the purchase, they put their email address in, and maybe you've experienced this too. You put your email address in, and then from there you go to purchase, and then when you go to the purchase window, now you've got to fill out a whole bunch of other stuff. And they were talking about how this company kept losing out on sales because the customer experience was, okay, it's too encumbering. There's too many steps. If I want to buy something, I want to be able to click on it, go and pay, put my credit card information in, and move through the process. If your client goes to your website and they don't have an easy way to book an appointment with you, if they don't have an easy way to pay you, if they don't have an easy way to if you don't have an easy way to get some sort of follow-up email back to them, if there are steps that are missing, their experience can cost you later. It can cost you later. So we want to make sure that we simplify and streamline as much as possible so that our client experience is at the forefront, that they don't have to go through a bunch of steps in order to get to the very next step of your process. So not having some simple systems in place. Another, and I'm going to leave it on this one, another common pitfall is not being adaptable. Not being adaptable when it comes to digital transformation. It's challenging enough that the technology moves so fast, right? And then we have to get over ourselves and jump into it. And if we're unwilling to make the changes, that creates a barrier. Having, our clients' experience at the forefront of what it is that we're doing is going to be huge. I was sharing the story a little bit earlier about the transformation that we went through digitally on the job. We have over 20 or so different organizations that have to use this tool, and you can come up with the processes and you can make sure that everything is on paper. But every single business area that were utilizing this one tool followed a different process, and they followed what worked for them. I sat on the support team, so when the technology would break, they would call me. And it was a very difficult thing because you'd go through the process. You say, okay, well, you know what? Did you do this? Did you do that? When you were going through the steps, do you make sure that you followed all the process steps? And 9 times out of 10, they didn't. There is a law. I believe it's called the Parkinson's Law. And basically the Parkinson's Law says that we will not adapt to the work, but we will adapt the work to us. In this digital transformation, we have to adapt to the times. There's not a lot of space to have the times adapt to us because it's not going to. And at the end of the day, when our customers experience us, if we're not adaptable and we don't have their experience at the forefront to make it as easy as possible for them to get through our system, it can cost us in the long run. It'll cost time, it'll cost effort, it can cost reputation. There's so many factors when we're considering what it looks like when we go into business and when we're looking at how to make the technology work for our business so that in the end, when we're dealing with our clients, it's a very seamless and easy process so they can have the best experience. So, common pitfalls. It's important that we don't get stuck in the pitfalls. We want to make sure that we understand that we need to be adaptable. We need to make sure that we know that there is help out there. There is help out there. I can help you with getting your onboarding system in place. Investing in the technology that we don't need, that can be a pitfall. Starting with stuff that we just get frustrated with, we don't know how to use, and we waste time and money trying to figure it out. And not making sure that we have our processes in place and making the client experience as seamless as possible, as easy as possible. It can cost us in the end, and of course, not being adaptable to change. So I wanted to share those things with you again. Absolutely, Joanne. The client experience should be at the forefront. It's beyond us, right? Our job is to serve others, and in their experience with us, that's a part of service. So I want to invite you. This challenge is open to women in business. If you're thinking about starting a business, if you are in business, if you're just starting, this is going to be a great starting point for you. I don't want you to get stuck just being busy doing. Don't get stuck being busy doing because of fear, because of resistance to change, because you're just not quite sure. There's help out there, and I want to help you. Okay, so I will in the top of this right up here on this video, there is a link to the Beat the Busy challenge. 5 days. We're going to be talking about you. We're going to be talking about your client. We're going to be talking about some of the challenges that you experience. We're going to talk about some of the solutions. We're going to, come up with some focus areas to get you set up and ready to move to your next level in this part of your business. Okay? Whatever type of business that you're doing, you want to make sure that you have a flow and make it easy so that you can be happy, your client can be happy, and you can continue to build like you want to build. So that is all that I have for you tonight. Thank you. Again, if you are a part of the Girl Ask Me Anything community, I'm super excited because you guys are going to get the sneak peek of this experience, the Beat the Busy challenge. So join me, bit.ly/Beat the Busy challenge. And it is absolutely no cost to you, nothing out of your pocket, just your time. So let's work together. Let's grow together. Let's build together, and let's make this transformation together. Never, ever, ever alone. Okay? Hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.